Mr. Scheer invents reason for refusing to answer questions and tell the truth. This story shows how corrupt our old parties are. This is the kind of dirty politics that fuels Canadians' cynicism about politics.
People's Party of Canada leader Maxime Bernier responding to claims in a Globe and Mail report that the Conservative Party hired a consulting firm to discredit the People's Party of Canada. The controversy coming at the worst time for the Conservative Party as we head into the final hours before polls open. And federal Conservative Party leader Andrew Scheer is joining us live from Richmond. Thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Scheer. This has been one of the dirtiest campaigns in many Canadians' memory, and with the latest allegations that your party has hired Warren Kinsella to attack Maxime Bernier, many are concerned about the kind of campaign you're running. On this final day, how do you feel about the campaign you've led?
We've run a very positive campaign. Every morning we make an announcement about how we're going to make life more affordable for Canadians, how we're going to leave more money in their pocket, and how they're going to have a brighter future. When we look at the other parties, when I look at Justin Trudeau calling people who don't believe in the same things that he believes or don't hold the same views that he holds, he calls them un-Canadian. When the Liberal War Room, the Liberal campaign tries to make a link between a construction worker that I'm shaking hands with, trying to link that to racist groups, I see a lot of negativity coming from the Liberal campaign. But now in the last day here before polls open, the choice really is between a positive Conservative government that will make life more affordable and an NDP Liberal coalition that will have to raise taxes to pay for their billions and billions in new deficits.
But Mr. Scheer, when asked why you're spreading false information about your opponents, like among other false statements saying the Liberals will decriminalize hard drugs and saying the Liberals and NDP will raise GST, when they say that's a lie, you can't draw conclusions where the hard facts don't back up what you're saying. So you've explained your reasoning to Canadians. My question to you this morning is, how do you explain to your 5 children, from toddler to teenage, that it is okay to lead a dirty campaign based on information that is not entirely true and constant attacks on your opponents?
Well, of course, I reject the premise of that question. We know that, like night follows day, tax hikes follow massive deficits. And when you add the NDP and Liberal platforms together, you see the deficit ballooning to $40 billion. Now, taxes will have to go up to pay for that. If it's not the GST, it could be personal taxes. But that's up to Justin Trudeau to have the guts to tell Canadians today before they go and vote which taxes he will raise. We saw the same playbook in other governments. When Liberals run massive deficits, the tax hikes follow. And I believe that Canadians have a right to know before they vote what types of deals Justin Trudeau will make with the NDP, what types of taxes he will have to raise in order to pay for the NDP platform commitments. I believe that is a legitimate question to put to Justin Trudeau in the 24 hours before polls open.
It is a legitimate question that many are saying you have chosen to answer yourself and put in campaign ads, sometimes focused towards minority communities, and therein is where the concern lies.
Well, when we're talking about decriminalizing hard drugs, I point to you that Liberal members of Parliament on the House of Commons Health Committee endorsed this idea. Many of their candidates are supportive of this idea. Justin Trudeau himself said that he was not going to do this right away. So there's a lot of uncertainty about what it is that the Liberal Party will do on this. But we do know a lot of Liberal candidates want to push for this. So we've warned Canadians about this in many languages. We're going to continue to warn Canadians that this is something that Liberals are contemplating. On our side, Canadians can have certainty. We will not pursue this course of action. They are unable to say that because they have so many Liberal candidates that are pushing for this type of thing.
All right, Mr. Scheer, you and your other party leaders are choosing to spend this final day in battleground BC. Why are you here, and how important is BC's vote in this election?
Well, BC's vote is incredibly important. It always is. But we know there are going to be a lot of close races. We're very optimistic about winning back many of the seats that we've held in the past. And our message on cost of living resonates all over Canada, but perhaps more so here in the Greater Vancouver region and in other parts of British Columbia. We know housing prices are putting a big crunch on families. We know that everyday essentials have gotten more expensive. The price of gas in British Columbia is extremely high. And when Justin Trudeau says that high gas prices are exactly what he wants, a lot of people get frustrated at that. And that's why our positive message about a government that gets back to balanced budgets, lowers taxes, leaves more money in their pockets, really resonates here, and we're very optimistic for the results tomorrow.
In the event of a possible minority government, would you accept any support from the Bloc Québécois or even change your stance on the Trans Mountain pipeline expansion? What are you willing to do to prop up some kind of coalition?
Well, those are, first of all, we're not going to enter into any type of formal, we're not courting the support of other parties. We're asking Canadians, we're asking Canadians, we're not asking other parties for their support, we're asking Canadians for their support. We're asking for their vote tomorrow so that we can get a strong Conservative government that will get big projects built again in this country, that can lower taxes, that can get back to balanced budgets. So we have a little less than 24 hours before polls open, and the choice for Canadians is crystal clear now. On the one hand, an NDP Liberal coalition that will have to raise taxes. If it's not the GST, perhaps it's going to be personal income taxes. And on the other hand, we have a Conservative government that will get back to balanced budgets, lower taxes all along the way, and make life more affordable.
All right. I'm sure you've heard the comments from Vancouver Mayor and former NDP MP Kennedy Stewart. He had some harsh words about your leadership. What was your reaction to hearing him say that your government, if elected, would be worse than Stephen Harper's? Comments that we seldom hear from municipal mayors. And should Vancouverites be worried about the city's relationship with a possible future Conservative federal government?
Well, it's not surprising, as you point out, former New Democrat MP is not going to endorse a Conservative party, so I wasn't terribly surprised there. I would point out to the Mayor that we've made commitments for big infrastructure projects that will help the people in the Greater Vancouver region. Specifically, we've announced that we will support the replacement of the Massey Tunnel. In addition, we've said that we will honor all existing infrastructure agreements and that we will spend the exact same amount overall over the course of our infrastructure plan. So, it's vitally important that all three levels of government get along and find ways to find common ground to work together. The people of Vancouver can have confidence in a Conservative government will put their needs first. And it's incredibly important as we head into voting day tomorrow to realize the choice between an NDP Liberal coalition that will raise taxes, make life less affordable, drive out jobs, cancel big projects in this country, and a Conservative majority government that will lower taxes, get big things built again, and help improve the quality of life for all Canadians.
All right. I do want to ask you about Canada-U.S. relations. Donald Trump's impeachment inquiry is currently underway. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has made strong comments saying he hopes Trump is impeached. What do you think of the U.S. leader and your future relationship with him if you become Prime Minister?
Well, obviously, this is a decision for U.S. lawmakers now. I'm focused on Canadian politics. As it relates to the Canada-U.S. relationship, I can tell you that I will work extremely hard. One of my first priorities will be to undo the damage that Justin Trudeau did to the NAFTA deal. Trudeau promised to come back with a better NAFTA. Instead, he gave away concession after concession after concession. Donald Trump ran the table on him, forced him to accept virtually everything that he was asking for. And in the end, the only thing that Justin Trudeau could point to as victories were things that Conservatives had already fought for under previous trade agreements. So I'm going to focus on resetting that relationship, making improvements on a one-off basis on the failures that came back with the Trudeau deal, and try to improve that for all Canadians.
Conservative leader Andrew Scheer joining us this morning on the final day of the federal election campaign. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And Global News has got you covered on election night. There will be a special edition of the News Hour on Monday from 5 to 6. And then at 6 p.m., you can join Donna Friesen for Decision Canada, our federal election results special. Then following that, Sophie Louis and Keith Baldry will host After the Vote, taking a closer look at the outcome and what happened here in BC.